Are you worried that your team is getting burned out? Do you wonder if quiet quitting is not just some online phenomenon, but it's something that could actually be happening in your workplace? Well, you're not alone. Now, normally, like 99% of all cases, the most effective strategy is not the easiest. However, somehow, by the grace of the structure of our brains and just how we work as people, the most effective strategy here is actually easier to implement than you think, and it might be the easiest thing possible. In this episode, I'm going to show you the 4 most effective, scientifically backed gratitude strategies that will change your life and your entire workplace culture. They will get your team to be more engaged, more connected, and just flat out happier. And the best part of all is that this isn't going to break your company's budget, and you don't have to manipulate or trick your employees in any way. And this isn't going to take forever for you to see results. Now, if you want to learn how to do all of this and see the results before the end of this month or within the next 21 days, you'll definitely want to stick around to the end of the video, because I'm also going to share an in-depth practical exercise that is going to turn up the volume for all 4 strategies that I'm about to share with you. So stick around. Making gratitude an action-based habit activates a portion of your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and empathy. The sub-area, the part that's really triggered by this, is called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, VMPFC. And it has 3 areas, and all of them are extremely excited about gratitude. So what happens? What is the thing that actually happens when we activate gratitude, when we participate or partake in gratitude practices? Well, we increase the production of these particular neurotransmitters, very popular ones that you've probably heard of. They're dopamine and serotonin. It's actually also oxytocin, and it reduces cortisol. Let's take a pause here just for a second, and let's address the science elephant in the room. What does all of this jargon mean? There's a bunch of big words, there's a bunch of chemicals, and what are we really talking about? Let me know in the comments right now if your head is spinning and you're spiraling out of control and you're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I'm here to figure out how I can make my workplace better, and we're talking all this science. Don't worry. On this show, we like to follow the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. So let's rein in this science parade and get right to the bottom line. Being grateful makes you feel better. It makes you feel happier, and it makes you feel more fulfilled. It also makes those around you feel better, happier, and more fulfilled. And it turns out, the more that you do it, the more that your brain begins to learn that this new avenue of processing, this new wiring that we're working with, that's standard protocol, and this is an acceptable way to go. And think of mental processing and the mental wiring like this. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a giant forest, and you're all alone, and you're trying to figure out which direction to go in order to find food, to find others, to find water, to find shelter. And so you have to pick a direction to go, right? So you have to pick a path. So you start going down a couple of different paths. And as you're going down these paths, you might encounter a snake. And you're like, holy crap, I don't want to go down that road. So you go back to your starting point. Like, okay, I need to go a different route. All right, then you go down another path and you see a mountain lion. You're like, holy smokes, that's not a good path either. And you keep doing this. You keep doing this kind of trial and error until you figure out, okay, well, I went down this path. And it turns out that the path that we end up choosing isn't necessarily the best one. It's just kind of the first one that we do where there's the least amount of friction and we can actually get to our goal. So let's say we're trying to get to a pear tree. I don't know why I picked a pear tree. I don't even like pears. It's all right. So let's say we're going to a pear tree, and we finally found, third attempt. We dodged the snakes, we dodged the mountain lions, and we figured out how to get to the pear tree. Now, we had to climb over a bunch of rocks. We had to go around this big lake, all of these things, but eventually we got there. Like I said, it's not necessarily the best way, but we found a way. And so what we do, and this is what's happening now, bringing this back to our brains and how this works, what we do is once we figured that path out, we want to keep going on that path because we know that there weren't mountain lions there and we know there weren't snakes there. And translating that into our modern lives, think about interactions with people at work. Like, oh, well, it turns out I know that when I speak in this tone, or when I slow down, or when I do more listening, then I actually get people to work more efficiently, more efficaciously. So I'm going to do that more because that's the result that I want, and so that's kind of the same. It's the same thing. So we continue to feel out different strategies of how to operate in the world. And once we figure out a way that works, we just kind of keep doing that thing in that particular circumstance over and over and over again. And here's the deal. The more times we go down this path, the more well established this path becomes. Think about it. You're walking through your yard and you walk through the same part of your yard back and forth all the time. And that's always the path you go on. Eventually, you see that grass goes from all being even and equal, and you'll go back to our analogy. We're in the forest, we're going down, and we're like, okay, well, I got to clear some of these weeds. So you have a machete and you start clearing out this path. Like, okay, now I don't have to push these giant bushes out of the way. And you keep going down, and then eventually all of this walking that you're doing, lugging your bag of pears back and forth, you're dragging it over the ground and you're wearing down the grass. It's bending over, it's starting to die. Eventually it turns into a dirt path, right? And then as things progress, as things continue to go on, this dirt path turns into a dirt road. And this dirt road, we lay some concrete down. We keep going down. It keeps getting more efficient. That's the point. So again, bringing it back to our brains, these electrical signals that are being sent through the wires in our brains, those paths become shorter. They become more efficient to get from A to B to C to D. They figure out like, okay, this is the way. And when this happens, this is where we go. Like this is the path that we go. So it's happening in your brain. And so the more that you do something, the more it, ensconces this in your brain as the process of this is how we work. When we start doing gratitude, we start making gratitude a habit and an action, it starts to rewire the way that we respond and the way that we act in the world. This promotes pro-social behavior. This promotes stronger relationships. And this promotes a stronger sense of self and well-being. And so the fact that we have worked on this and we've done the gratitude practice and we've done this for 21 days, then we built those neural networks into those super highways that went from just a simple dirt path over to our super highway connected through New York City. You know what I mean? Like that's the level that we get to, and we get there by making gratitude an action, by taking it into an active practice of this regular part of our life. And because we smooth this road, because the connections are so much stronger, it makes it a lot easier and much more likely for us to be grateful and to act with gratitude into the future. So let's get down into the real meat and potatoes, the reason why we're here. How do we make sure that your gratitude is contagious, right? Doing a gratitude journal, like the most common gratitude trope that we hear all the time is gratitude journals. As a matter of fact, the study that we're referencing that talks about this, they used gratitude journals. And so it works. It's true. I'm going to say don't do it necessarily. I'm going to say that there's other better ways. So gratitude journals are great because it's a reflective time. You spend time with your thoughts in gratitude, and it generates those genuine feelings of happiness. It increases dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all of these beautiful things. Reduces cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, just for reference for you guys to break down all those sciencey terms. Dopamine is the anticipation or motivation, like internal drug, neurotransmitter drug. So it is a chemical that gets hijacked by illicit drugs like cocaine, amphetamines, things like uppers. But it's all about motivation. It's all about anticipation, and it's about unexpected novelty and surprise, right? So it's often referred to as like the motivation. It's commonly misconstrued as a happiness chemical. It's not. It's an anticipation. Now it gets activated and huge dumps get released when something unexpected happens all of a sudden, but it's not necessarily because of the good thing. That's a lot to do with the novelty. And the goodness of it, our perception of the goodness of it, makes it that much higher. So yeah, it makes you feel great. Serotonin is a feel-good, another one of the feel-good chemicals. Oxytocin is like the love, warm, fuzzy feeling that you get. Like it's, I think, what was the study? The study was like if you hug somebody for an awkward amount of time, it's like 28 seconds, 27 seconds, something like that. If you hug somebody for that period of time, obviously you want to do this with, probably like your kids or, your spouse, let them know, not with a stranger, but that's when you get this release of oxytocin, the warm fuzzy feeling. And then cortisol is the stress hormone, which is not inherently bad. It's just bad when it's too much. So that's all of those, just to clear up any confusion or anything about that. If you guys are getting value out of this so far, hit like, let me know what you're thinking, drop a comment in there. If any of this is ringing bells, something you're familiar with, or if it's brand new to you and you're like, holy smokes, this is a lot. Don't worry. We're still going to keep it simple right now. Getting back to our meat and potatoes. Will a gratitude journal work? Yes. Is it the most effective way to make your gratitude and the effects of your gratitude contagious? No. Incorporating others, consciously, purposefully incorporating others into your gratitude practice, into your gratitude actions by using one or more of these strategies is much more effective than just straight journaling at your home by yourself. Number one, hunt the good stuff. Now, this is straight stolen from the Army and from the positive psychology that they worked on with the University of Pennsylvania and some really amazing folks over there to develop the Master Resilience Training Program. So I feel comfortable talking about this because I was a Master Resilience Trainer in the Army. And one of the things that we did, and one of the things that it was the easiest to teach people, was this one. It was the shortest lesson, and it was all about gratitude, simple gratitude practices. And we called it hunting the good stuff. When we hunt the good stuff, oftentimes when we started training or when we would start a session, we would start with hunting the good stuff because everyone always knew it. It was easy to understand. And basically all it was is, tell us something good that happened. Tell me something good. Don't mind me. So tell us something good. Tell us something that you're grateful for that happened. And usually we would try to get real particular. We'd say, we start the training at 9:00 or 8:30, and we'd say, what this morning, think about this morning, something that you're grateful for. And so it was always interesting to hear what people would come up with, and it was kind of an insight into people's lives too, because I remember I was going through the training to become a Master Resilience Trainer, and one of the people there on probably the third or fourth day had said something. He's like, I'm super grateful that, my wife I'm married to the person I'm married to. She's amazing because we just had like this huge leak, which made their ceiling collapse in our living room. And it was terrible, but she was on it. She said, babe, don't worry about it. Just get to work. I'm going to take care of all of this. If I need anything, I'll let you know. And he knew that he could trust her. And so the level of gratitude he had for her, he's like, this is out of control. Like, I know that I don't even have to worry about it because I know that she's got my back. So that's pretty cool. That insight. It's pretty cool that happened, that he's got that person. It's also pretty cool that we just got this insight into another person's life and they were willing to open up and share about it. Think about the level that you know and understand about this person now. And this is going to play directly into what the benefits are and why this matters for you in the workplace here in just a little bit. Number 2, leave a note. A little love note. No, don't leave love notes. So again, this is all for stuff at work. These are strategies to increase, to make your gratitude contagious at work. So I'm telling you, leave notes for your all-stars, for the people that stand out, that have been doing an incredible job, the people that stayed late, came in early, that do that consistently without being asked. Like, hey, thank you. I see you, and I appreciate it. Like, I know that you're dedicated to the mission, to the purpose, and that means a lot. Thank you so much. Know that you don't have to do that, and that's another thing. Like, don't turn what you're grateful for if people are going above and beyond. Don't turn that into the expectation, and don't let your gratitude turn that into an expectation. All right. So let's avoid that at all costs, because that's how we build resentment. And that's exactly what we're pushing against right now. That's what our tidal wave is coming in. Remember our tidal wave? Our tidal wave is coming in to crash out, to clear out all of that nonsense, all of that resentment, all of that, quiet quitting and isolation. Like, we're trying to build connection. We are building connection. When we do this, we build connection. It's impossible not to. So leave notes, be specific, be timely. Let me know. First two tips are there in the bag already. Let me know. Comment in the section below. Let me know if you're getting value. Tell me if you've heard of these, if you're already doing them. What's the impact in your office? What do you think? How do you think it's going to be received by the folks when you try to do it on your own? You don't have to be a leader to do all this. This can be for people, for your colleagues, people that you're recognizing. Number 3, use a gratitude jar. Place it out in public. Do it before meetings. So what the idea of a gratitude jar is, you have a jar, right? Go figure. And you take notes. You have like a little notepad out. You have little sticky notes. You have some note cards, whatever. You have something that people can write on, and they can take it, crumple it up, and throw it into the jar. So you do it before a meeting, and so this way you can have people reflective on their thing, and they can choose to be anonymous if they would like. They crumple it up, you throw it in there, you pull at random before a meeting, you pull one out, and then you read it. You're like, okay, cool. And then you can even open the floor. You can get creative. This is the cool thing about this. Your limits to incorporating others into the gratitude practice and to making this a part of your culture, it's only limited to your level of creativity. And so you can take this and you can kind of combine these together. You do the jar before the meeting. You do the one thing, you say, hey, you know what, this is really cool. Does anyone else just want to share what theirs are, or do we want to do another, and you can open the floor that way and seek volunteers, and you can look to those people that are generally going to volunteer, and so kind of spur some action and spur that sense of gratitude and that feeling in the group, that feeling of connection, and you get to know more about each other, like we were talking about a little bit ago. Number 4, encouraging positive performances by calling them out. Right. So when you see, this is like, think about it in person. Think about an event. Think about different ways to do this. There's a bunch of ways, right? One of them was the note, but this is looking more at kind of the public side, right? If somebody went 10x their sales goals, we want to acknowledge that. And we probably want to acknowledge it maybe at a luncheon, maybe at a dinner. You bring them up on stage and you're like, hey, here's Sally, and she crushed it this month, this quarter, this year, whatever. And we want to recognize her. Sally, tell us a little bit about what you did. Now, you don't want to you don't want to just make this a huge surprise to Sally. You want to make sure that she's aware and she's tracking, so that way she's not completely starstruck. Let her know you want to recognize her. And this is part of building that connection and building the communication. These are other things that we talk about here on the show, is building connection, communicating effectively, getting to know your people, being grateful for your people. This is part of the program. This is part of what we do. Fundamental to connected leadership and the principles of connected leadership that we talk about here on the show. So you want to communicate with Sally. You want to figure out, is this, are you comfortable with going up on stage and talking about it? Like, yeah, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but if they're, that's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be a professional speaker, but we would love for you to share it. And then there are other options. I've worked with companies, and I'm building a podcast for another company now, a podcast, right? So you can bring somebody on and you can have more of an interview conversation style about the performance, about what they've done, for larger events, right? This is for bigger type of performances that have happened over time, workplace goals, things like that. a well executed, well thought out, and very effective marketing campaign. These kinds of things that you want to recognize people on your team for doing. This way, when you bring them up on stage, you have them talk about their experience. You create an interview based style that goes out just to the company, or maybe you use the podcast to promote your company as well. But you do these things, and you're not only recognizing this person by literally giving them a platform, but you're also encouraging others, like, hey, look, this is possible for you. You can come on the show. You perform well. And not only that, we're showing you a path. Like, this is how this person got there. We're not trying to keep it a secret. We're trying to share. Goes back to our episode last week when we talked about groupthink, right? We're counteracting groupthink by sharing, by not isolating the avenues and the sources of information. We're removing those mind guards that we talked about. So what happens on those days when you aren't feeling particularly grateful yourself and you don't feel like, participating in this system? How do you keep this practice up? Well, a habit is important because it helps to, ingrain the process as a practice in your life. This is just what we do. It's not, am I going to work out today or am I not? We work out. We get up, and at this time, we work out. That's what we do. So you want it to be like that. You want it to be, maybe something more that's more straightforward is, I drink coffee. When I get up, I drink coffee. That's a non-negotiable. That's what we do. And the beautiful part about this is that you can habit stack, right? So those who are not familiar, top shelf, let me see. Up there. Top shelf. There's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Highly recommend that you get that book because he talks about this. He talks about a bunch of things that are super powerful. They make a huge difference with your ability to follow through with your goals. It's called Atomic Habits, again by James Clear. Check it out. Not even affiliated link, just a book that I really like. So when we're talking about incorporating that habit, the gratitude habit, the beautiful part about it is it doesn't take very long. You can do this in a couple of minutes. And you can spur that gratitude action and motivation inside of you to enter your day with that kind of energy before you even go to work. And you can do it by stacking that habit, by taking something that you already is a non-negotiable, like, say, coffee, or a morning walk, whatever yours is. Tie it into your life. So look at when you're brewing coffee. In the morning, you're going to brew it, right? Or maybe you're going to have to drink coffee. Maybe you have an automatic brew time, and so that's not a thing. You just come out and the coffee's done. Huzzah for you for being super, effective on your timing. Way to use technology. I love it. But so here's the thing. While you're drinking it, start using that time from beginning to coffee to end of coffee to embrace in a gratitude practice. This is where you can do the journal. This is where you can set the tone, the gratitude tone for yourself in the day, where this isn't going to be the thing that spills over, but this is going to build that initial energy. It's going to track, right? It's going to build those tracks that we talked about. It's going to lay the groundwork and establish that pathway, that neural pathway in your brain to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And so it makes it easier, right? It makes it easier to do those group gratitude things later because you already have the gratitude momentum. So while the natural, just emotional spillover that we talked about from a gratitude journal earlier isn't enough, but it sets the right tone. It sets the momentum going in that direction for when you get to work and you want to do those things as a group. So the way that you make sure that you do it, if you're having a particularly tough morning, but gosh darn it, I'm drinking my coffee and I know this is when I'm supposed to do it, right? In the beginning, it's going to be easy. Like the first couple of days, first 5 days, 7 days, 10 days might be super easy. Then you're going to have that day where you're like, oh my gosh, I just hate everybody. I hate everything and I don't want to play. Not today. So those days, what I do, I'll give you an inside tip into my life and the way that I handle those. So what I like to do is go super duper basic and try to hit the extreme details of the reasons why I'm grateful and why it's possible for me to be grateful for this thing. So let's get really tangible with this. One common thing I do this with is with my blanket, right? So I have my blanket. I looked at the tag one day, I think when we were just laying the bedspread out, on the bed, and it said it was made in Taiwan. And so I pardon me, and this is the example I give all the time because it's one I really do. And so you could do this. And this one gratitude practice, you don't have to go through this entire thing we're about to go through. You can take different pieces of it. It's all about until you get that moment where you're like, oh, there's that feeling. Okay, cool. And you'll feel it. It's very tangible. So I would think, oh my gosh, there are people in Taiwan that are making this blanket. How in the world do they make the blanket? Now, if you want to go super deep, you can look it up. Like, how? I remember this old site back when the internet first started. This is not true. Not when it first started. When I was a youngin', one of the first cool beneficial sites, I don't know if it's still up and running, but it was called howstuffworks.com. Howstuffworks.com. This was really cool because it did exactly what it said. It would show you how stuff works. And it'd give you like little diagrams and, videos of how stuff works. It's kind of like the maybe pre-YouTube. And this would be something like you could do that. If you want to go super deep, you could do that with a blanket, right? You could go and see like, okay, well, what's the process? Oh my gosh, they have these giant machines and it runs the wool through and the threads through these big machines. And you have these people that are running the machines. So I'm like, oh my gosh, there's people in another country that are making this blanket. Think about the machines that they're using. Who came up with that machine? Think about all the moving pieces in there. And then you want to get super deep into it. Like, well, they have to use oil to like lubricate the parts. How did we think about using oil to lubricate? And we have to refine the oil. You can't just pull oil out of the ground. You stumble across it. Who would have thought oil was a beneficial thing ever at all for anything? And then let alone it's like the bedrock of our society and civilization and everything that we have now, petroleum. And so how did that happen? This is incredible. And then they have to have electricity. How does electricity work? I'll tell you right now, I don't know. I don't know how electricity works. I know it gets generated in I'll give you my quick rundown. So they burn coal, right? The steam or the heat or whatever from the heat from burning the coal goes up into these turbines, spins the turbines. Somehow, through magic, aka science, this creates electricity. And then they somehow route this electricity from this factory to homes all over the place. And it works all the time. Every day. It's just insane. It's so crazy. Like right now, I got that feeling of gratitude like 7 times, like while I was doing that, because, and it's genuine. I've done that gratitude practice with that blanket that's in that room. I've done it so many times. It's crazy. I cannot believe how much it works. And the thing is, I haven't even gotten to the point yet of taking the blanket from the facility and shipping it over here and thinking about all the steps, all the people, all the training, all the technology, the planes, the ships, the boats, the people. Haven't even touched it yet. The blanket is still in the process of being made. It's so incredible. And not to mention, it gets to my house in 2 days. Like, whoa. So you do that. You do those things in the morning. And you can do it with like your coffee. Like, oh my gosh, where do my coffee beans come from? Just ask questions and think about, how am I able to enjoy the things that I'm enjoying right now? Even if you think about the things you're upset about. How did I get to the point where I could be upset about this? Like, I'm really mad at my wife. I'm not. I love you, babe. I say one morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so mad. So frustrated with her. Oh my God, how cool is it that I can be so frustrated with this person? Because I love her with all my heart. And holy smokes, I live a life where I can be so frustrated with her about this thing, and then you can kind of think about like, oh, that's so silly, potentially, depending on the thing. And so that's really cool. So that's a way that you start the momentum, right? That you build it from within, and then you start that energy, and then you push it. It pushes and it carries that momentum in with you to work. So you're much more excited and enthusiastic about bringing it in. Because for a lot of the people, right, that we're trying to make gratitude contagious for, we're trying to get them to rewire their brain so they're more grateful too. A lot of those people are not doing what you're doing. They're the ones not doing the work at home. They're not doing the journals. They're not doing the in-deep the depth process that you just did of just working through questions and answers for how you get what you got. They're not doing it. And so their first time, you might feel some resistance in the workplace. You might feel it, the same resistance that you had in starting that project out and starting your little gratitude practice out that way. And you had to revert back to this type of gratitude practice. They might have to be battling through that with you in person. We're like, oh my gosh, here we go. Here comes Jimmy again with this freaking gratitude practice. Like it's fine. Like if you do it right, they're going to feel it, right? And so, and know that you're probably going to get it wrong a couple of times. You got to feel it out, and you've got to inject new, different ways to do it because we require novelty. That's actually a problem that I'm going to discuss in our video next week, which is a problem with gratitude practice and how we fast forward, how fast forwarding ruins gratitude practice and how to overcome that. So we're going to do that next week. So if you guys really like this video, please like, comment, let me know. What does this look like for you in the workplace? What does it look like for you right now? And how do you see this actually working out for you at work? Or at home, wherever. I mean, this show is really guided around work, but work isn't just work. Like, we're one person everywhere we go. And so no matter where we go, there we are, right? It's one of those things. So I'm curious. Let me know, if you like it, if you've been getting value, share it if you think it's worth it, but absolutely drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'd love to hear more. And a special bonus kind of end here is there is a project called Project. There's a hashtag project. I love when they do that. It's a 365 project, but it's hashtag 365 project. And they do, it's basically like you just post a photo to your social media, whatever it is, throw a hashtag on there, 365, but you're doing a photo based in gratitude, right? And so you're joining a broader community of those grateful for life, for different things. So you can incorporate that in as a part of your practice if you so choose. So here's the bottom line when it comes to gratitude and the impact of gratitude and why you as an up-and-coming, aspiring, or even current leader should care. Employees who feel valued are less likely to leave. Crazy concept, I know, but let's say it again. Employees who feel valued are less likely to leave. How do we show them that they're valued? We show them gratitude. We can do it through actions. We can do it through words. These are the ways. Employees who feel connected to their leaders are more likely to increase the quality and quantity of their performance. And employees who feel a connection with the organization and the purpose and the mission and the culture are most likely to tell their friends about it. And those friends can become customers. They can become the number one resource when it comes to talent acquisition, right? That's the number one. That's the highest quality candidate you can get from your job is somebody that was positively referred to your organization by a current employee. Does this make sense? I hope so. Drop a comment. Let me know. Like the video, please. If you liked it, like it. If you liked it, let me know. It's simple as that. So, again, as we had mentioned earlier, being grateful is only limited, and your expression of gratitude is only limited by your creativity. Just remember, frequency is key. Incorporate this daily practice, right? Practice. It's indicating an action. Turn gratitude into a daily action, and you will see that tidal wave clear out the old to make room for the new. The choice, my friends, is up to you. Do you have what it takes? Do you have what it takes to bring a culture of gratitude from whatever position you're in into your organization to start making that change today? Let me know. I look forward to seeing you guys here again next week. We will talk about how we can overcome the phenomenon of fast forwarding through gratitude. You guys have a great day. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the chat.